You think the AI revolution belongs to the tech giants you recognize, but the real power isn't Google or Meta or OpenAI. It's the one company quietly choosing who gets intelligence and who gets left behind. Because every future breakthrough still depends on one silent gatekeeper, NVIDIA. And the part they control is the part your life can't escape. NVIDIA didn't just shape the AI revolution, it accelerated it beyond anyone's ability to keep up. While the world was arguing about who would win the AI race, NVIDIA quietly built the hardware that decided who could even enter it. Here's the part people miss. Every major AI model you've heard about, from chatbots to breakthroughs in medicine, had to run through NVIDIA's silicon first. You're not just watching companies innovate. You're watching them compete for access to a power source they don't control. You feel overwhelmed by how fast AI is changing your life. Companies feel that exact same fear, except they can lose billions for falling behind. So instead of trying to outrun the future, they line up behind the one company that already controls the pace, NVIDIA. And this is where the danger begins. Because once the world's most important technology depends on a single gatekeeper, the real power isn't in the ideas, it's in the chips that make those ideas possible. And NVIDIA was about to make a move that locked the entire AI world in place. NVIDIA's rise wasn't an accident. It was a strategic bet on the one part of computing the world had ignored, not the CPU, but the parallel mind of the GPU. A chip built to draw pixels suddenly became the perfect engine for teaching machines how to think. While competitors fought over phones and software, NVIDIA built infrastructure. They didn't sell gadgets, they sold capability, a way for scientists, researchers, and dreamers to run impossible computations overnight. And here's the part most people never realize. Every AI breakthrough you've heard about, from language models to medical discoveries, was born on hardware shaped by NVIDIA's design philosophy. You feel like the world is moving too fast for any one person to keep up. NVIDIA felt that same urgency, so they built tools that accelerate everything. Their technology didn't just win the race, it changed the definition of the race itself. By the time AI became mainstream, the world was already running on NVIDIA's rules. Developers had built their workflows around CUDA. Companies had optimized data centers around their GPUs, and entire industries had quietly accepted that without NVIDIA's chips, the future simply wouldn't compute. But NVIDIA's real breakthrough wasn't speed. It was the moment they made everyone else dependent. Dependency changes everything, because once the world needed NVIDIA, NVIDIA no longer had to chase the market chased them. And that's when the company shifted from brilliant engineering to something far more powerful: control through scarcity. The truth is uncomfortable. There aren't enough chips for everyone, not enough supply for startups, researchers, corporations, or even governments. So who gets access? Who gets priority? Who gets left behind? NVIDIA doesn't just make GPUs. It decides the pace of the AI revolution. Every shortage, every delay, every limited batch creates a hierarchy of winners and losers. And the companies that secure NVIDIA's hardware early become the companies that dominate tomorrow. You fear being left out of a future that seems to be accelerating without you. Tech founders fear the same thing, except they can lose billions for being late. That's why they compete, negotiate, and beg for NVIDIA's allocation. The chip itself isn't the product. The privilege of receiving it is. And as supply tightened, something fascinating happened. NVIDIA became the company everyone envied, not because of what it sold, but because of what only they could provide. They turned scarcity into leverage and leverage into quiet dominance. And then came the moment that transformed NVIDIA from a supplier into the kingmaker of artificial intelligence. NVIDIA's transformation didn't happen when it invented the GPU. It happened when the world realized nothing in AI could move forward without them. Quietly, invisibly, a single company became the checkpoint for the entire intelligence revolution. Suddenly, every AI lab, every startup, every corporation, every government all hit the same wall. NVIDIA's chips decided their future. But this is where the real twist began. NVIDIA didn't stop at hardware. They built an ecosystem that wrapped around the AI pipeline. CUDA, TensorRT, networking, full-stack acceleration. Once you adopted it, you were locked in. Not by force, but by dependence. And that dependence shifted everything. NVIDIA stopped being a supplier. They became a gatekeeper. It didn't matter who had the best research anymore. The path to deployment still ran through NVIDIA's architecture. You felt what it's like when progress depends on someone else's decision. Companies feel it too, except they're risking billions, timelines, and entire futures. So they align with the only entity that can't afford to fail, NVIDIA. And here's the shock most people miss. NVIDIA didn't win because it controlled the future. It won because the future couldn't happen without what they built. They became the pickaxe in the AI gold rush, the toll booth on the digital highway, the foundation every empire now stands on. Once a company becomes the foundation, it stops competing and starts choosing who gets to rise. And that lesson becomes even sharper when you see what this power means for you personally. NVIDIA's story teaches a truth many people miss. Power doesn't come from speed, ambition, or even innovation. It comes from being the one thing the system cannot function without. So ask yourself, where in your world are you trying to compete, instead of becoming essential? You felt the pressure to be faster, better, more impressive. But NVIDIA shows that the real leverage is built when you create something people can't replace, something others have to rely on, something that makes opportunities flow to you instead of you chasing them. This is the mindset shift. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be the bottleneck in skill, in value, in expertise. That's how monopolies start. That's how wealth compounds. That's how influence grows quietly, invisibly, and permanently. NVIDIA proved that the future belongs to those who build the foundation, not those who fight on top of it. And that principle becomes even clearer when you see how NVIDIA affects your life right now, today. NVIDIA's power isn't historical. It's active, shaping your world right now. Every AI tool you touch, every recommendation you see, every system analyzing your choices is running on hardware built by one company you never get to vote for. If AI is the new electricity, NVIDIA owns the generators, and they decide who gets full power, limited power, or no power at all. That means the pace of progress in medicine, finance, transportation, security, content, and even your daily technology moves only as fast as NVIDIA can manufacture the future. But here's the part that matters to you. When one company becomes the foundation of a global shift, your opportunities, your tools, your career, and the things you rely on are shaped by decisions made far above you. And yet the lesson is freeing. NVIDIA rose not by noise or speed, but by building something the world couldn't replace. That same strategy, becoming the irreplaceable value in your lane, is the advantage you can still see. Because once you see this pattern in NVIDIA, you'll start seeing it in every empire shaping your future. If you've stayed this long, you already sense the pattern NVIDIA exposes. Power belongs to those who build the systems others depend on, not the ones fighting for attention on the surface. And every episode of RINH Wealth reveals another rule hidden inside the world's biggest empires. A rule shaping your money, your choices, and your future. Subscribe, because the next story uncovers the system behind your next decision, even if you don't see it yet.